We the people, for the people, with the people. That's this man's mantra. And I agree with that because I always believe it is private citizens, public servants. That's how it should be. But he is running for president for 2024 on the Republican ticket. He and I have something in common, which I'm going to talk about on the show. We have at least one thing in common that we're going to talk about on the show. And I'm very honored to have him on. We're going to talk about who he is, what he's for, and what's going on. Help me welcome presidential running person, Barak Zilberberg. Barak, how are you?
How are you, James? It's an honor. It's a pleasure and being on the hot mic with you. This is beautiful. I love it, and I'm really looking forward for our conversation.
Same here. It was an honor for me too. So here's the deal. I was looking you up, and I know a lot of my friends actually follow you and actually are fans of yours. And I was like, but I don't know where. I'm like, where did he come from? Like, I don't know where he came from. Suddenly, he's in my timeline, and you have a million followers on Instagram. Like, you got fans. So I was like, I looked up your stuff, barakzilberberg.com, and we have one thing in common that I was just like, I was very shocked. We were both born in Los Angeles. We're the rare native Los Angelian.
Yes, that's correct. Born and raised. Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
Didn't you have a great time in LA? The upbringings in LA was really nice, wasn't it?
Well, see, I was gonna say, so what part of LA did you live?
Well, we lived in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
We lived particularly in the North Hollywood area, Valley Village area.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But we did live in Sherman Oaks at the time. I went to Chandler Elementary School, and then from there I went to Monlux Elementary, and then I went to Milliken Junior High, and from there I went to Grand High, and that was my education. Just being around great people and great teachers and people that inspired me throughout my journey, and here I am.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about me is that I started with nothing, a blue collar worker, and I worked my way up with no hand me downs or favors or anything. I just worked, sweated, and I led to my success.
You and I have that in common also. So that's the next thing on. We both are first generation Californians. And again, we started from scratch. Whatever we have today, you worked hard from scratch. So you got a chance to see firsthand how life works, didn't you?
That's right. That's right. And my father, he told me, hey, if you want anything, you go out and work. There's no hand-me-downs here. I ain't giving you anything, and you want some. And then I understood it at a very young age, at 13 years old, and I started working, finding jobs, as to where I could make money and buy my own clothes and call my own shots, and I just wanted to be a boss, just right then and there. The whole movement just got me all going and fired up, and making a dollar, earning a dollar, and also trying to save that dollar and spending a fraction of that dollar, and knowing how to save that dollar or some portion of the dollar and invest, the portion that you've saved. It's just very interesting how it works so nicely, so that I believe everybody should be a homeowner. And when I become president and even before, so I'd like to go ahead and build affordable housing for all Americans to enter the American dream. Very important. By entering the American dream, not only you build equity, you build wealth, and there's a lot of beautiful tax codes and incentives in being in real estate as well. So that needs to be taught. The literacy of the tax codes, home ownership, how to obtain a loan, have impeccable credit, all of these things. That's just a little part of the piece of the pie. I mean, it's a whole array of things that needs to be interpreted into our schools.
Yes.
For our children, so they can be the best they can be.
Yeah,
And
I know, I agree. No, that's something that I talk about all the time on my shows with people. Some when I was coming up, 'cause I came up on the other side of the valley here in LA, but I did go to Sherman Oaks Elementary School for a minute. So I know Sherman Oaks and all that. I just go to the Galleria. I know all the Galleria, so I know that back then.
Sherman Oaks Galleria, that's right.
Yes, back in the Stone Age, back when they had horse and buggy and that kind of stuff. Stone tablets, Barak. Yes, I did all that back in the 70s and 80s. You and I look good for our ages. We look good. Um, but no, well, my thing is, I always said back in the day, we used to have a home economics class, we used to have a cooking class. Like that stuff's all gone. Like basic life skills for adults. That's what you're pushing. That's something I agree with that completely. We're not teaching anybody how to balance their credit cards, how to balance like that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, we can't run in deficit. We have to have a surplus of money, all of us, and we have to be self-sufficient on ourselves. Not only in ourselves personally, but as a nation as well, where we have our own goods and our own industries and manufacturing resources here in the US of A. It'd be so nice.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything that is shipped from any other country or sphere of the world.
And we need to encourage, I agree, we need to encourage our own people to start businesses and get out there and do that. So I agree with you completely on that too. I think if that's something you want to do, if that's something not everybody wants to do that, but if that's
if you want to do, at least it's presented.
Yes.
At least you have to present it.
Yes.
I mean, you're a parent, I'm a parent. Well, what we do is we present to our children. That's it. So we're here to present to all,
I agree.
Everybody in the nation and within the world. And the other subject is equality. That's where I'm firm on, and every which way I'm firm, but equality is number one. Number one is equality. We're all Americans, no matter what creed, race, religion, color, what have you. And also in terms of sexual orientation or gender, it's all irrelevant. I'd like to fulfill Martin Luther King's dream. It'd just be my honor, to fulfill his dream. And I believe in my presidency, in my administration, it will be fulfilled for sure.
Well, I want to talk about that because I'm gonna say, growing up in LA and growing up in the Valley, we were surrounded by all races. I mean, that's one of the things about growing up in LA that I thought was beneficial to us. We're surrounded by we have everything. We have 4 million people here. I mean, it's a little bit of everything, right? So, do you think that did help shape you into being, tolerant of all kinds of? You probably had friends from all walks of life growing up.
Well, what it is since my upbringings, I've been in public schooling systems where again we had the diversity. We're a melting pot here in the United States. So I had friends of all different races, religion, colors, you name it.
Yeah, you do.
And even that what that whole ideology, I carried it over to my entrepreneurial ventures. So when I conducted business with everybody, and no matter who it may be, everybody is an eye level. We're all human beings, I don't judge anybody how they look or the race or the color or religion. I just look in their eyes and their soul. They look in my soul. I look in their soul. I see a person. I see a beautiful person on the other side. And, hey, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? That's my attitude. And to always treat people with the utmost respect. And a customer is a king and a queen, no matter what. And they're always right. I'm wrong and they're right. That was my attitude all the time.
Right.
And I just used to deliver, to people. I love people, and I believe everybody should get what they deserve and even more, And then by doing that, you build a referral-based business, whereas they refer you to your friends and family, and all of this showers upon you, whether you want it or not. So it's just, being kind, good, loyal, trustworthy. People are happy in the end of the day. That's basically the ingredients.
Well, I have to ask you because this is great. I have several questions to ask you about this first one first. Because I've seen online, and you have been an ally to it's Pride, it's Gay Pride Month, Queer Pride Month. You have posted things, and I've seen your people. So I mean, you're not just talking; you have put in the work also. But I know other Republicans who I'm friends with who also they do polls. Many times they have no problem with the people's their sexuality. As long as everybody's equal, they're against hate. But your party comes across in general as the hate ones of all of this. So how do you kind of maneuver through that?
Well, I tell you, in the Republican Party, there are ideologies in the party, okay, but they're not firm. Nothing is really affirm or affirmative. I believe in times you have to change with wherever the times go in life. I mean, wherever the motions, wherever you see, you have to be a tree, right? When the wind blows, right? Right? You have to go along or wherever the wind takes you, in which ways. If you don't, then the tree snaps, unfortunately. So we need to go along with whatever is in positions in our country, period. These are things that are these are matters in this country that need to be taken seriously, and even more so, they are to be accepted. Under no circumstances, they are not to alleviate this issue. This is not an issue. We are children of God. So each and every one of us, we are a child of God. So we must be accepted, in any which way. Now, we could go into depth into the subject as well. I could go really into depth, where children are born with both organs. They have the penis and the vaginal. So I mean, it's up to the doctors, the parents, at the same time. What do we do? Is the child going to be a boy or a girl? And it's just God created it in a way where that's simply how it is. We have to be accepting and be of acceptance of everyone, no matter what, and love each and every individual. And if an individual needs help, we must help the individual so that they can. And every person has a talent. I believe every person can attribute to our humanity or people, helping them. So that's the key goal.
Yeah, no, again, I said we don't hear that very often in Republican circles. In terms of nominees, but I know some Republicans who are like, oh no, I'm fine with what I mean. Like you do you, I do me, as long as we're all being productive.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can live any which way you want. My ideologies aren't the public's ideologies, aren't the people's ideologies. Everybody's different, and your opinions as a leader shouldn't be in positions of how people live and what they want to do. So long a person is a righteous person, they don't steal, they don't rape, they don't murder, they don't do wrongdoings in our communities and to our people, then why not have any person live the way they want to live, freely, within our country, and adhering to our Constitution and our rights. See, we derailed from our Constitution, and we gotta bring that back. over the constitutional values back into our country. And that's in my administration, that's what I'm going to corely achieve, is bringing and having our judges also interpret the laws through our constitution. So everybody has fair trials, everybody's treated with respect. Those who are imprisoned for marijuana and reasons as such will be released. Marijuana will be legalized throughout the nation. There's no reason why the plant isn't legalized within the nation. It should.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we need here in our nation. We're far behind. We need fast transit system to and from our cities. Alongside, I'd like to bring up water pipes with the transit system so we could deliver fresh water where is needed. And then furthermore, we could use that channeling other things, building desalination plants where we have desalinized water distributed within our country. So people turn on their faucets, they have beautiful fresh water. That's the key. It's water is a huge thing for us living human beings, animals, plants, livestock. Very important. So there's a lot of things. I could go on and on and on. Sorry,
No, that was good.
I'm a tangent.
No. Actually, it was good. You're helping me out because you're letting people know what you stand for. And I want to go to another thing. I have another question for you. This is good. You're answering questions for me. So my next one is small business. I'm a small business, and there's always little issues with that. So what are your thoughts? Because you're an entrepreneur and a businessman. Well, how are you going to help us small business owners?
What we got to do is we have to offer more loans, grants, so that people can go ahead and open their own businesses, start their own businesses. Not only that, as to educating. I believe we should educate everybody as to what are the motions and starting a new business. What do you need to do? How things need to get done, and just understand the ideology of being in business. I personally, I would rather work for myself for $1 than work for someone for $2.
Me too. Yes.
I mean that's you manage your own time. Your time is manageable by yourself. Time is a huge asset. Once the clock keeps turning forward, yes, it never goes back. So time is huge. So you have to allocate your time in the best use of yourself. And in order to do that, you have to be in the entrepreneurial ventures. Now, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying it's for everybody. I mean, everybody's different, and some people just want, a framework. They want to be in a certain place in a certain time, and they have their schedules in place, and that's fine. Everything is cool. It's just entering into entrepreneurship. You're your own boss. That's what it is.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I had high-paying jobs, and I feel better now doing what I'm doing myself.
Yeah, and you know what? Not only that, we would encourage those who have the vision of entering into some sort of trade, or could be in any sense and form of anything they would like to upstart. We'll have the programs available for them.
I like that. Another big thing is homelessness. So I don't even know I mean, what are some of your thoughts? What do you think what are some of your policies on that? It's a big thing in many of our major cities, and also some rural areas too.
Yeah. Well, I ran as governor here, and my interpretation with the homeless is because I went into tunnels, I went into the places of where the homeless are, and I had interviews with them personally. 50% of them, from what I've understood and interpreted, is they want to be homeless. Okay, 50% of them want to well themselves, they want to have jobs, they want to keep going on with their lives. The problem is the facilities and the institutions and the shelters are not really inviting. So my plan is that I would build, low income housing, which are, in other words, there'd be, tracts of homes, so they can shelter themselves in there, and then we have a wellness center within the community. And not only that, we have jobs. So they would also not only well themselves, they would also attribute and contribute to the working environment there, right? So we keep everything moving and productive. And then we have it once they're well and they basically are all said and done in their ways, then we have recruitment for military, we have job recruitment, business opportunities they could start, all types of arrays of things. Now, the homes that are given or not given, they're actually just lent for them to use, they could purchase that home. And therefore, they're not homeless. Yeah. So it'd be a really, really nice kind of 180 direction, and giving hope and aspiration and uplifting everybody. That's the key. Once they're successful, then they're going to tell their friends, which are still homeless, and say, hey, you have to get into this institution. I mean, they really welled me. I'm on my feet. I have a job. I'm actually going to purchase a home now. So maybe it's a good idea you come into these wellness centers. It's very important.
You mentioned cannabis earlier, which I agree with. There should be the uses of cannabis, especially in California and other states that have made it. It's wonderful. I mean, it helps for joint pain, helps for cancer pain. I mean, it's all kind of stuff. And I agree with you. It should be you can regulate it, whatever. But it should be like. But that leads into healthcare. What are your thoughts about healthcare? What it's like, because some of us are not happy, some of us are, but it's an issue for a lot of people.
Absolutely, and it hasn't been effective. First off, I just want to address our pharmaceuticals. 90% of them are coming from China, so we're reliant on our pharmaceuticals from China. So, going back on the subject of bringing our industries and our manufacturing here, we should have our own manufacturing plants of array of vendors to manufacture our own pharmaceuticals here. This way we have control over our pharmaceuticals. Costs come way down. We have competitiveness. And that goes for healthcare too. I believe the government should be less intervening in our health plans, programs, and the whole health area. I mean, government should be out of it. What we should do as a government is we should oversee as to what they're doing, make sure they're doing, everything in the right way and protocols that is needed.
Yep.
But we don't tell them anybody how to operate and, how to compete with one another. Once we get the competitiveness in our healthcare as well, then our rates will drop as well. And then, people will actually go to places where they have their money's worth and they're cared in the right way. So, again, competitiveness is the key. And that's how I would go ahead and get the health plan and the healthcare reform into place, where we could buy as a nation bulks and bulks of policies. So we have an array of vendors. We told each vendor, hey, give the nation, us taxpayers, give us a fair shot in the game. Give me your best shot in competitiveness. We go with, we be the, whoever is reasonable, and we share bulks to every institution and see how they are, and monitor as to how they care for individuals. That's how I believe we're going to get the cost down and everything. And then we could compete with the rest of the world with manufacturing our own goods here as well. We could bring our costs down, and we're reliant on ourselves.
Yes. When you ran for governor of Nevada, what did you learn about the running process, right? By this whole running for an office? What did you learn that you're like, okay, now you're running for a larger platform, obviously, but what did you learn from that experience?
Well, it was a very interesting experience. Basically, they told me to go. I went in. I just go the opposite direction. I don't know what no is. I just know what a yes is, and I just go and I do what I have to do. Now, within the run, I've learned so many things. I mean, I've spoke to thousands and thousands and thousands of people along my journey. Who knows, maybe even a million, I would say.
Right.
Shaking hands, and each person had their story, and each person shared their story with me. And I'm a good listener. I listen in to everybody, and that educated me as to what the needs are for the people, because of their interpretation into me. So I'm just basically a voice of the people. And along the way, I met such wonderful people, and I couldn't be as delighted and cherished of my whole journey in the gubernatorial realm in the state of Nevada.
Yeah.
And what I've learned also is the voting system is illegitimate in our country. And we need to legitimize that, because that is our freedom right there. People should have the right and their freedom to vote and to choose whomever's running in our public systems offices, to help them, advance them, and help and advance each candidate, sticking their neck out for the people, and have the people choose who they want in those positions.
Yeah.
And that's key. That is simply key.
So, last couple of questions. I want to thank you for your time with me. It's been wonderful. Two things. One, your party is being splintered so far. There are kind of the old school. You like one of the old school Republicans mixed with new school. Then you have the Trump MAGA Republicans. So how do you feel you can make your lane? I mean, I would ask for any presidential nominee that's Republican. How do you think you can? I mean, because so far some of the things you stand for do stand out. I get that part, but like who do you think you're reaching? Like those of us who are kind of independents that are, or Republicans are more like you. Like who are you trying to reach?
I'm reaching everything. I'm reaching red, white, and blue. I'm reaching to every single American out there. That's who I'm reaching out to. Now, it's all irrelevant party. Again, we spoke about the race and the color and the religion and all of that, but it's irrelevant as to what party you're situated in, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent or a libertarian or any sort of party you're in. You should have the right to choose the candidate that you would like in positions such. Now, what I like to do is conduct open primaries where anybody could choose who they want that is in position. And that would be amazing. We give the option. Now, if that's not the case now, then I am in the Republican Party, a hairline over. I'm in the middle. I'm actually dead center. I'm like in the middle, but a hairline over to the Republican Party. So the art of me is to bring, because I have friends that are Democrats, Republicans, Libertarian, Independents. I have friends all over the place, all over the board in the political world.
Right.
So I could bring it together so that we are as one and united, never divided, and bring everything and push the nation forward where is needed, in the direction that is needed. Get rid of the all the nonsense, the distractions, and then all of the drama and all. You gotta get rid of that and get into the objectives for the people. Serve the people. That's our job. We're here to serve the people.
Yep.
And not waste time. Get down quickly. Make educated decisions. Have a beautiful cabinet, visionary and intellectual people, and making the right moves for the people. And that's what it's all about. And then additionally, I'd like to get the perspectives of the people as well. Maybe take polls, understand where they want, what direction get everybody involved into our system, get everybody involved into politics and this whole array and subject, because we're all involved because we pay taxes, each and every one of us. We pay taxes, so we have to be involved. I don't know. Do you just throw your money out there and say, "Oh, okay, here's my money. Do what you want with it."
Right.
You want to know, what you're doing, where is the money going to, where it's getting invested, how it's being allocated. You have to know where things line in the whole system. That goes for everybody. It doesn't go for only the politicians that are in positions or leaders. It goes for everybody. So everybody gets educated, and we have to invite people that are passionate about this subject too, into this subject. Yeah, you can be a president, you can run for office. Yeah, you can be a mayor, you can be city council if you have the passion in doing it and the qualifications. Go ahead. We need more people in this arena. We seriously do.
I agree. Barak, thanks for being on the show. You're welcome back anytime. And I'll be following you. I'm gonna totally be following you and seeing how this goes for you. You're very refreshing, and especially for, like I said, the Republican Party side. I'm sitting in the middle watching both sides, and you say a lot of things that I actually agree with. So thank you so much for being on my show, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on your show. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, all your loved ones out there. And for more information, please visit my website, www.barackzilberberg.com, BarakZilberberg.com, on Instagram at Barak Zilberberg. Again, folks, it's Barak Z, and it's not about me. It's about you, the people. Additionally, please, once you visit my website, you like my positions, my stances, my policies, we have a $1 donation from your heart. You love as to what my notions are and the positions of the country. And, the 26 items, the dream to reality, initiatives that I have in place for the country. Donate $1 makes a huge difference, a well-invested dollar. And I look forward in serving you all.
Like I said, $1, 100 of those equals $100, and 100 of those equals, it starts small, folks. Nothing's too small. I guess that's what it is. Nothing's too small at all. So thank you. And I'm James Lott Jr. This is A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. You can follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, of course. JLJ Media is everywhere. And like I said, we'll be following him and see how he goes in this race. And I'm James Jr. I will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.